What's going on? Welcome into Anime Plus, episode 63. I'm your host, Alex Light. Hopefully you're having a phenomenal day today, whatever day you are listening or perhaps watching this podcast on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Sparking Theory. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. I have noticed that only 51% of you are not subscribed, so definitely subscribe. We'd appreciate that 100%. For the ones that are subscribed, you are absolutely amazing, and we appreciate you. Zach, how are you?
I'm good. I just laid down like they thought that you knew exactly only 51 people.
51 people.
Who are actually subscribed when it says we almost have 200.
I tracked you down personally on the internet. I know there's only 51 of you people that are not subscribed to this channel. Subscribe to the channel. We appreciate that. Drop a like, comment down below, all that good stuff, or react however your platform allows. Looking forward to today's episode. We're still getting into these new series of the winter season, kind of filling it out, and that's good because we're gonna kind of figure out very soon what's gonna actually stick with us and what's gonna kind of drop. So looking forward to that conversation here today. Of course, go follow us on Twitter at Animan Podcast. We'll go check out the other shows like Game Static, The Terrible Football Show, and talking about movies and stuff. And lastly, if you want sports for the Patreon is a great way to do so, but don't feel obligated. Just be a friend, tell a friend that you're watching, and listen it. And once again, I got to do this plug. We're up to something. I'm going to keep plugging it. Yeah, it's not going to be that much longer plugs.
Is it technically a plug, even though we're not actually saying what it is? Is it technically a plug?
Yes, because, yes. Based on how I see other people kind of tease stuff like that, on like other channels, stuff that I watch, I would consider it a plug. Yeah.
I like to consider it like you have a curtain that you're sort of
teasing,
standing by, and you're just like, we have something behind this curtain.
Yeah, there's something back here.
You'll see what it is.
Yeah,
but we have something behind this curtain.
Yeah. It's back there, and it's pretty cool. The grand opening for the curtain's coming soon. We're about to pull the curtain out. And you're about to see what we got cooking. And as of today, we might have something extra cooking with it too.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. We already had one thing cooking. That's pretty much all. It's already kind of cooked. We've already taken it out of the oven for the most part. We just got to kind of warm it up before it's time to eat. But we got now we put something else in there. We're gonna see if we burn it or not, and we're gonna see if it's gonna make it. I'm not the best cook, so I might burn this. We'll see. But Zach's a pretty good cook, so he might not burn it. He can help me out on this. We'll see. You have a degree.
What? I don't have a degree.
Oh, my bad. Ooh, messed up on that one. No, seriously, we got something cooking. It's really cool. We're working on something. We're up to something. It's going to be really nice. I feel like I can probably say a date here on this episode, and it will probably be correct. We'll have another episode of Animan Plus to confirm that or not next week, but I think February 1st will be the launch. I think February 1st will be the launch. I feel pretty good about that date. Maybe even just do it on the Monday, the 31st, January 31st, just because, clean Monday release, whatever. But I do feel pretty good about one of those dates. So we'll confirm that over the next week and the next Animan Plus episode, 64. I will officially hammer when you will get to see what we're working on. So it will be pretty cool. Before we jump into all of our anime talks for this week, Zach, you got anything on your mind? I got one thing. Shout out to the Naruto G Fuel. They did announce that. Yes. A few weeks back, they released their new profile picture, which was clearly Naruto themed, but no announcement yet. They like to build you up for it, tease you and everything, but they finally revealed the flavor today. I did obviously jump on the wish list.
Is it ramen?
A lot of people said that, and even Josh is like, man, I was wanting ramen flavor. No, the flavor, it's like a sweet citrus as well as something else. I forgot what, as well as with white peaches. So I'm just like, okay, all right, that sounds pretty dope. It's been a little bit since we've had like a peach-esque flavor. Yeah. So I'm here for that. Nice shaker. The tub's got a cool design. It's called Sage Mode. So it looks pretty dope there. It's really focusing on the Naruto pain arc. The box is really cool. I really dig the box because the back has like all the Kage statues on it with Naruto there. Okay, super dope. I'm definitely picking that up day one. But I'm excited for that. What about you? What you got on your mind?
I mean, nothing really. The only real thing that I saw that I was just like, okay, it's hitting the West more is that Arc Knights. Do you know that mobile game?
I think I've heard of it. What is it exactly? It's
a gacha tower defense game.
I believe so, yes. I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. This is apparently getting an anime.
Oh, that's random.
Yeah. So I've been noticing a lot more that a lot of the mobile game stuff is now starting to show up a lot more over here in the West, where it's always been a thing in Japan of mobile games becoming animes or animes becoming mobile games, vice versa. But over the last year and a half, been seeing that a lot more hitting the West as well now, of at least showing signs of it also coming over here, not just like the mobile game or the anime, but actually getting both.
Right. Oh, that's okay. All right, that's pretty cool. I'm trying to. There was some piece of news that popped out recently that I thought was pretty cool, but I'm completely blanking on what it is. I will say, did you see? I think we may have talked about this. Did you see the continued sales for like this latest batch of Shonen Jump mangas?
No.
Not too bad. You know, P6. You know, actually crossed 10K.
Okay.
Yeah, Volume 1 of P6 actually crossed 10K. I thought that was actually very impressive. I didn't expect that. I'm going to be brutally honest.
I mean, it's not a bad series. It's sort of middle of the pack, but
yeah, I agree. It's not that I hated it. I acknowledge that it, you know, where it has an audience and stuff, it just wasn't for me, which is why I dropped it. But yeah, 10K, you know, to start off, that's not terrible. I am still reading that one manga that I sent you boys in Discord, Second Break. There are 6 chapters out now, and I've only read the first 2, and I'm actually really enjoying that. I remember when Second Break was set to be was when it was announced, because I actually plugged that on Anime Plus News, which I promise that's not completely dead yet. I promise. But Second Break, I've actually really enjoyed it. Part of Weekly Shonen Magazine about a kid who wants to go to the NBA. Had a tragic accident, was paralyzed, whatever, and then had like a time leap where he's back in high school. And like where we are now in the second chapter is like the day before when his accident occurs, where he becomes paralyzed. So it's actually pretty interesting so far. I'm actually digging it, which is weird for me because I don't usually dig sports anime or mangas for the most part. Like Nine Dragon, Ball Parade didn't really do it. It had its moments. Like there were certain aspects about it that was interesting. Tribe 9 is cool, I do think, but Tribe 9 is also fucking very over the top, which I guess why I like it. And the music is fire,
on point.
Yeah, but other than that, I haven't never really gotten into sports stuff. But second, you know, which is weird because I'm a massive sports fan. But Second Break's actually pretty solid.
But you know what we need to get into? As of January 7th, because I forgot to mention it, over 100,000 people signed the petition for the Cowboy Bebop Season 2.
Really?
Yes, over 100,000 people.
Wow. Okay. Have you watched that yet?
I still haven't, but people really apparently actually want a Season 2, at least a portion of people.
Right. Wow. Okay. I'll tell you, that was not the news I expected to hear out of you. No, that's very interesting that people actually really are really wanting this. All right, that's what's up.
Actually, I just found a new one. As of the 12th, it's gone up another 20,000 signatures.
Oh shit! Okay. I do have one thing. One thing to keep a note in is that the Golden Future Cup came to a close. The 15th Golden Future Cup for Shonen Jump. So the series that won is called Inoshima Daisuke. It has a pretty cool cover art. I'll try to get it up here on camera without too much of a glare, but it's got a pretty cool cover art. Kind of looks like the lady from Resident Evil 8.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like her. But just keep that in mind. Inoshima Daisuke, keep that in mind because it will be in Weekly Shonen Jump at some point. When? I guess whenever Jump wants to act something, whenever that's coming up here soon. But do keep that in mind. It is 100% going to be in Shonen Jump because, of course, that is what the Golden Future Cup is. It guarantees its serialization at some point in time. They also released the cover of Volume 11 of 86 light novel.
Hey,
11 volumes. I'm only still on the 5th one right now, which is sad because like some of the content that I really really want to see is like in Volume 6. So I need to hurry up and finish Volume 5. I've been really lazy about it. Oh, I saw something that I thought you would like. Fate Grand Order, Final Singularity, Grand Temple of Time, whatever. The anime movie will stream on Crunchyroll and Funimation.
Finally.
Yep. I saw that the other day. I thought you would like that.
That's going to be awesome because that whole entire arc in the Grand Order game, it's ridiculous.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Do I need to get into Grand Order? You know me. Is it for me? Should I get into it?
If you want to actually put some time into something, yeah.
Okay.
It's actually a very good game. I mean, I got into it for a full year before getting distracted by other stuff, but recently I've been looking at getting back into it.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind. Because it's always piqued my interest. It's always come across my timeline in some capacity, but I've never taken the time to sit down to play the game or check out the show or whatever. So I'll keep that in mind. All right, let's jump into some anime talks. So we're still in that weird, awkward first date stage with some of these.
Never.
Okay. Don't listen to him. We are. We're still in the awkward, like, first, second date stage with some of these animes where we don't know what's actually going to make the cut over its entire run. I will say, unfortunately, I don't think Orient's going to make it. I don't think Orient's going to make it for us, which is sad because I had this thing so hyped in my brain coming into it, but I don't think it's going to end up making the weekly cut for us. I don't think we're going to make it all 12 episodes here on the show. Let me stress, I'm going to watch the show, but I'm not going to sit down and commit to watch it every single fucking week. Like, I'll probably maybe this weekend I'll watch, episode 3, or next weekend I'll watch 3 and 4. If I don't watch 3 this weekend, I'll watch it. I just don't think I'm going to watch it on time for the show. So we're still trying to figure out what's going to make the cut and what's not. But we'll go ahead and kick the show off with the wildest new show of this season for sure. Rust Eater Bisco. My God, dude. This show, episode 2, just further delivered how fucking insanely crazy this show is going to be.
This world is ridiculous.
I love it.
I mean, we got a continuation of where the previous episode left off, but we also got the other half of how Bisco ended up in the city.
Yep.
And just watching it from his start of the gate to actually seeing other things in the world, like the weaponized animals and insects. What is this?
Man, I hit up a couple of friends the other day, and I'm just like, I want to tell you about a show. They're like, okay. And I gave them the base premise, and then I'm just like, there are giant iguanas that people ride as mounts. There's armorized, weaponized hippos. There's a giant bomber plane with a snail in the front of it that drops like acid on you.
No, it's not a giant bomber plane that has a snail. It is a snail turned into a plane.
Okay, thank you. Yes, what he said. There is the police force has cartoon bunny masks, and our main character rides a giant crab and shoots arrows that spawns mushrooms. And they're just like, what the fuck did you just explain to me? I'm just like, someone was high as a kite when they wrote this light novel because this series. And what kills me, what is my favorite part by far, is how serious the show takes itself. Because while all this is happening, there's like extreme heavy metal music, and I love it. I love how serious that it takes itself with that.
I mean, it's very I assume whenever who wrote this and whoever saw this and went, yeah, we're gonna make this anime, went full down on it. It's like, we know it's ridiculous, so we're just going to throw in heavy metal because that makes it so much better.
I love it so much.
It really does. Like, if it was traditional scored music, I mean, it would still probably be nice, but I probably wouldn't get into it. But when you hear that heavy metal going, you're just like, all right.
Yeah, it brings you in, man. It really does. And, like, this episode 2, like, wasn't anything like... Okay, I guess it was something to ride home about because we see more of the fucking animals and shit. But in terms of like the general plot, the only thing that it pushed was, what I already kind of mentioned in episode 2 ago because it was in the synopsis where, we get to see Bisco's friend who's got, the rust obviously growing on him. He doesn't have much time left. It's like his mentor or whatever. So, Bisco is trying to find this rust-eating mushroom, essentially. Because, it goes back to the point where it's like everyone in the world believes these mushroom callers, whatever. It's mushroom keepers.
Yes.
Mushroom keepers are like, they're the bad guys. They think mushrooms cause the rust, essentially. And mushrooms are forbidden or whatever, blah, blah. But meanwhile, that's not the case, and he's trying to fix it with mushrooms. So that was really the main thing to take away from this episode in terms of the plot, as well as our big titty lady. I don't remember her name, though.
It's like Awu or something.
Yeah, Awu, Dr. Panda's sister. Sure. Yeah, get to kind of... Yeah, she looks just menacing. I'm not even gonna lie. When I saw a shot when she was like walking with the big coat on, I'm just like, God damn, she is
a good shot.
Yeah, like I looked at her, I'm like, fuck, she's about to I'm intimidated. I don't get intimidated often, but I'm intimidated.
Her total character is just a powerful character incarnate, and like even towards the end of the episode when we have the short interaction between her and Bisco, it's just great.
Yes,
I mean it's not a full-on fight. It's literally just an introduction of the two, and just watching the whole arrow and swordplay was great.
Yeah, it was. Who she kind of reminds me of in terms of like the intimidation factor, somewhat kind of light comparison here, in my opinion, is Esdeath from Akame ga Kill. I kind of get those sort of vibes.
I never saw that, watched that one, or read it.
Well, for anyone that has seen Akame ga Kill, then you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I kind of get those sort of vibes. Kind of. I feel like this character is a little bit more intimidating than Esdeath in a way. Esdeath was like like a crazy psychotic level of intimidation, right? But this character is more just like a super serious, like, I'm going to fuck you up intimidation.
And the fact of the matter is she's still dying this entire time.
I know.
The rust has apparently almost reached her lungs or pretty close.
Yeah. No, I mean, episode 2 was a fucking ride. And that's what I loved about it. Like the more and more we got into it and the more I just kind of really stopped it. And I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. What did I just watch? Like the hippo thing, I actually had to stop and rewind. I'm like, wait a minute, did I just see what I think I saw? Is that a bunch of armored hippos? And the first thing I thought of was like, but she's a vampire. Shout out to Anime and Plus episode 26 for that one.
My thing was whenever the mercenary girl was talking to the governor and asking about her plane, and she kept calling it escargot. I was just like, why are you calling it escargot? I was like, why is it? And then it had the snail face. I was just like, are you shitting me right now?
I know, right, dude? It was so fucking stupid.
I mean, the thing's spitting out acid and things like that from the front of it. I'm just like, what?
This show is wild. I can't wait for the next 10 episodes. I really can't. This show is fucking absolutely insane. You know, again, base synopsis. Here's the bullet points. Rust has taken over the world. It can pretty much attach to anything and kill you. We have people that spawn giant mushrooms out of arrows. There's armor and weaponized hippos. Our main character rides a crab. There's the fucking snail plane. There's iguanas. There's cartoon bunny mask for police officers and heavy metal music.
I do want to state, though, the whole arrow mushroom thing, it's apparently something that can be taught.
Yes. See, which I thought that was kind of interesting, too, because I thought it was like maybe only for the arrows like they were using. But nope, it is like, I guess, a technique or something. This show is fucking wild. I love it. I'm telling you, the heavy metal music sent me over the fucking edge this episode because it happened like multiple times. It set me over the edge where I'm like, I can't with this show. This is fucking so great. What a gem that we found. All right, let's move over. Next one that we're going to talk about, a very good show that we are, I'll tell you, Bisco and this one, 100%, I feel like are staying on this slate, no doubt in my mind, because this one's really good, but I haven't got a chance to watch this episode yet. In the Land of Leadale, episode 3. Before Zach kind of talks about that, I do also want to give a shout out. If you checked out last episode of Anime Plus, Zach was using a very certain kind of voice for our dwarf son, and man, he has ruined and enhanced that character for me now every time he appears on screen. Because that's all I fucking hear. Just like I said I was. Just like I said, that was probably all I was going to hear. As soon as he appeared on and said, Mom, I'm just like, fucking Zach, god damn it. How was episode 3?
I mean, episode 3 was good. I mean, honestly, when you sent me that message of you've ruined Caravant for me, I went, who's Caravant? And I thought about it and went, is that the dwarf?
I'm telling you, man, Zach has ruined and enhanced that character for me.
I mean, episode 3 was good. So we got to see her actually interact with her other 2 children in this one.
Okay, good.
It very starts off with her interacting with her daughter, who's the headmaster of the academy, whose name, from all intents and purposes, is Mai, because that's literally what everyone calls her. I don't think that's her actual name, but everyone just calls her by a nickname. She sends a summons for her mother. I guess being summoned to the academy is a big deal because the person who delivered the message was like, why'd you get summoned? And then even when she gets there, she meets the sorceress girl she helped catch Primo, who's apparently part of the academy. She's like, why'd you get called to the headmasters? And they open the door and the headmaster's standing there and she's like, Mother! And just, and Leadale's, not Leadale, I forget her name. Kana.
Is it Kana or Kana? I think it's
Kana.
I think it's Kana.
Yeah, you're right. It's Kana. Even Kana's like, and Kana's word, she's like, did you call me just to glomp me? So her daughter glomps her, and
Glomps.
Yeah, that's literally the word they use.
I don't like that.
Have you not ever heard glomp before?
No.
Okay.
This is the first for me.
All right. It's, as the word implies, it's literally throwing yourself head first into someone to hug them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And Loti, the sorceress girl, she hears her mother and just goes, huh? And it's literally a whole thing of Kayana telling her daughter, you're the headmaster. You have a role. Stop. She sends Loti away, and then her daughter comes back trying to hug her, And she literally pinches her strong to pull her off her, and as she goes to hug her, you just see her hand go back up in a sort of menacing aura, causing her daughter to back off and everything. And more or less she called her about the potion that we saw in the previous episode, and has her mother and husband meet. And it's a nice moment of the husband and mother going, wait, her husband? Huh? Her mother? And they both looking at each other. And then Mai being, she's a very interesting character. She's going to be an interesting character. Both of them looking at her and seeing her reaction and everything. And they're just be like, I should have raised her better. And he's just like, no, her airheadness helps me a lot at times. Of them both realizing the other one gets it. So, and we also found out that the quest she completed was apparently a student had put in a request for a potion because the husband's the professor of the academy, had asked his students to make a potion. Mm-hmm. And a student cheated and just had someone else do the potion, only to fail because it's a potion he couldn't possibly do. And it's this whole interaction that at the end he's just like, can you do a favor for me? It's like, what? He has her teach a class. And there's even a moment where he says like, you shouldn't let a lot of people know about this. Then he asked her to do the class. She's like, I thought you said a lot of people shouldn't know about this. That was then, this is now.
Times have changed.
And she's just sort of sighs and she's like, I'll do this once. And everyone's waiting in anticipation to watch her how she makes this high potion. And because she doesn't know how to do it anyway, she uses the system. But as I've mentioned last episode, no one else has context for the game systems.
Yeah, that's right.
So literally, they all watch her pull out these ingredients out of thin air. And it's very funny because she pulls out all these ingredients and she's just like, you go like this, you go like that. And then hatada, potion. And she goes to walk away and he's just like, the professor guy is just like, I have a question. Depending on what it is, I'll answer. Where'd the vial come from?
I have so many questions.
And he was, and she's like, I don't know. Ask the admins. And she's just like, she just sort of scoffs and leaves. And then the rest of the episode consists of her taking on another job because there's apparently some ghost in the Coliseum. Mm-hmm. So she goes to the Coliseum to deal with this ghost. As she gets to the Coliseum, she realizes Primo, a redheaded kid, has apparently been following her from the city all the way to the Coliseum. And she just sort of lets it happen. So this ghost has apparently been haunting the Coliseum. So she's like, all right, I'm going to stay for like 2 or 3 nights until I figure it out. Mm-hmm. And everything. And she does her thing. She sets up in the Coliseum, does everything, summons her magical beast, which is a big old Cerberus. And this thing is great. So it has one head, which is just always asleep. One that's super actually a loyal, serious dog. And the other one that's, okay, actually, that picture that Josh posted on Discord of the 3 dragon heads.
Oh, yeah, the 3 dragon meme, yeah.
That, exactly, as a Cerberus dog. Because the far right one is dopey as hell and is drooling at all times.
That is amazing. I can't wait to watch this.
And so she sets all that up and she's just chilling in the center and she's like, all right, what the fuck does she call? I can't remember the dog's name, but the dog's name was also great. It was something like, it was some really cutesy, dumb name that I can't remember, but at the time I was like, that is fantastic. She just tells the dog, go patrol. The dog comes back real quick with Primo in its mouth, and the dopey one's mouth, who's drooling all the time. So he's covered in slobber.
That's great.
And this is a thing throughout the entire episode for the rest of the episode. Because the dog drops the kid, and the droopy one's just still hanging over, drooling over him while Primo and Kaide's talking.
I love this dog already. I can't wait to see this episode.
And this is a whole thing because, like, they talk and everything. She sort of figures out that Primo has a thing for Loti. Because she's like, so why'd you follow me? She's like, well, Loti respects you, so I want to find out all about you. It's just like, oh, that's the angle you're running at, kid. All right, you can hang around. And this whole thing in this poor fucking kid. So while they're chilling, she just keeps the kid there. And as the kid is sleeping, on the ground in the middle of this coliseum next to a fire. This dog is hanging over the whole time, just drooling over him. So he's in a puddle of drool sleeping.
This book.
And then Kaine's like, oh, I guess it's sleep time. She pulls a blanket out of the inventory and it looks like she goes to put it over the kid. The droopy dog catches it, starts biting on it. The middle one takes it from him. It's now covered in drool halfway, and then flakes it over the kid.
Meanwhile, he's still in the pile of drool.
Yes, and he's now covered in a drool-covered blanket.
That's amazing. I love this dog. I'll protect him with my life.
I don't think you need to. I'm pretty sure it can kill anyone.
Still protect him.
But finally, eventually, she finds the ghost. It gets a reaction from her guardian ring from her tower, and finds out this Coliseum is actually a front for one of the other towers.
The other towers?
Yeah, because you know how in the first episode, the guardian's like, I stopped getting a connection to the other towers.
That's right.
Yeah. So the whole reason she's even become an adventurer is to find out information about the towers. And she finds this tower, and it's pretty much just a concealed dome with a bunch of walls that magically forms scenery, and its guardian is a giant cloud person, and its point of power is a small tree sapling. From this guardian, she finds out that the game's servers have shut down. And sort of whenever that happened is when all the people and NPCs became alive. Mm. That's the whole thing that happened is game servers went down. And apparently there's some big thing with the game, because apparently their big objective of this game was to have 12 skill masters, or not 12, 13 skill masters. And because she died, it disappeared. There only ever was 12 skill masters. Apparently no one else could acquire whatever skill she had, because she's like the third skill master. Mm. So because of that, the game couldn't be finished, I guess, and it got shut down. So she finds out the game's servers were shut down about that 200 time period ago, and that none of the other players are around. And she sort of gets an idea why the other towers aren't working, and she becomes the master of this tower as well now. So she now has 2 towers.
Okay.
And that's more or less where it finishes up. The last little bit is literally just Jim.
Shout out to our makeup names.
So after finding this out, she more or less goes into a depressed mode because she realizes that there is no other players in the game. So she sits in her inn room for 2 days, and it comes to Jim that his mother's been sealed away in her room for 2 days. So naturally, what does he do? He leaves the church, sprints through the town, crashing through every single wall and door in his way, leaving imprints of himself into his mother. And you also find out from this that, you know how shows will have like weird effects around people where it's like rose and one and glittering? Yeah. It's not effects for him. That's his actual magic and effect. So everyone sees these effects.
That's absolutely incredible.
So as he's running, it sort of has like sparkle. Well, no, as he's running, people are like, even the rain is moving out of the way for him. And you see like a little bubble shield of his magic, keeping the rain from hitting him. So his clothes are always pristine and hair and everything. He's not soaking wet. And then, yeah, eventually he crashes into his mother's door. He's like, my mother dearest, I'm here. And she just sort of, it's like, you are too weird. Uppercuts his ass into the ceiling. She uppercuts him, goes back to bed, isolation barriers, and then Mai shows up and she's like, brother, you need to... I was too late. Mother, you have an isolation barrier? I'll come back. And that's the thing that really threw me off at the end of this episode. Mai apparently has a cloaked, black hooded squad to deal with her brother's shenanigans.
Damn, that's dedication.
Because, like, she sort of sighs and sees that as, like, mother's like, oh, well, I'll clean this up. She snaps, and 6 black-robed guys appear out of nowhere with a ladder, pull his ass down, throw him into a coffin, and wheel his ass away.
She comes prepared. I respect that.
Like, it happened, and I was just like, what the fuck is this? What is this?
Oh, man. I can't wait to watch this episode.
I absolutely love this show.
Dude, I enjoyed the first 2 episodes, but with this episode, one thing I want to take away from it is so we had the depressing moment of where it's like there is no other players. Like,
no.
Okay, that's depressing. Well, looking forward to see how the rest of the story kind of plays out, though, because it's like kind of how you described to begin with. It's just like seems like a fun slice of life series. I'm looking forward to watching this episode. Let's hop over to Love of Kill, episode 2. How is this? How this one's still standing out for you?
It's still fairly interesting. Where Land of Leadale is just a good, for the most part, feel good and just what is going on here.
Right.
Love of Kill is actually very interesting and drama oriented because. So we have our main characters.
Shout two.
I can't remember their names.
I think it's Shout two.
They're weird names.
Yeah, and then whatever song or sung.
Yeah, it's Song and then Chateau.
Chateau.
Her name's which is really weird name. Chateau. So yeah, there's a whole interaction where she goes to find the guy he gave her information about last time and
finds the bounty and some fucking girl tied up.
Yes. And he's talking to the phone and he's just like, yeah, it should be in the one of the last ones. It's the only green door. It's like, oh yeah.
I left a girl in there.
Yes, that's exactly what he does. He's
like, I left a girl in there. Can you please take care of that for me?
Yes.
Yep.
So did you actually watch this?
I watched this episode, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, the only things I didn't watch was unfortunately Land of Leadale and Orient. Those are the only things I didn't make it on my slate.
So,
well, I guess Platinum, but that only did that come out today?
Yeah, it did.
Okay. Then I didn't watch episode 15.
I mean, I really enjoyed just the whole aesthetic and then the whole flip thing of him going, hey, I'm about to finish up work too. You want to go out?
And he's like, before he even finishes, and she just hangs up.
And then right after that, she gets the news of, hey, stop. The client's dead. And she just does the dots and just like, ah, shit.
Yep. Which you get to see, that he's the one that took him out, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, I very much enjoy this sort of drama intrigue thing and the whole introduction of this assassin dude who shows up and just
Spider Face. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, it didn't give him a name or anything, and just his whole thing of his weird thing of I guess he has some sort of code where he only plans to kill Song, I guess. And at least personally, because it sort of leads off with him more or less forcing Chateau off the road.
Yep.
And I'm not entirely sure what he was trying to use Chateau for. Because, I mean, he didn't capture her or anything.
Yeah, nope. Just kind of, I guess it's just one of those things to send a warning. Because, I mean, he's who he's trying to get to, Song is. And he's now obviously seen these two interacting together and assuming that they are potentially a thing, even though obviously she will very disagree with that. But I guess it's just to send a warning to him because, he can kind of, I guess he's kind of put it together that Song gives a shit. Meanwhile, she might not. Song does. I guess it's just to send a warning is my only guess.
Yeah, the only thing I could really get was he was trying to do mind games of a sort.
Trying to fuck with him.
Because it seemed like he was very big on that. Because even like the truck driver that sort of stopped to help him after the crash, he sort of told him to move, and it sort of let off like he killed him, only to find out that he shot the guy's ear and then tied him up and threw him in his truck. The big thing that I did like was just Songs being a stalker of him calling and just being like, huh. Usually when I constantly call, she just keeps hanging up.
Yeah, she just declines it.
It's weird that it keeps ringing. Then he just naturally finds the record. He's like, I know for sure she would have passed through here.
Yeah, fucking creepy, but hey, shout out for being observant, I guess, because you found her. She probably would have died out there or something. I don't know. I mean, she was knocked unconscious. God knows how she would have got back, especially without her phone and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, I do think it's an interesting story so far. It's enough to pull me in. I'm kind of curious more of like what this spiderweb tattooed face guy is talking about in terms of Song calling him a traitor.
I'm pretty sure it has to do with the organization he was part of, because when in the previous episode when it introduces Song's sort of background, he was part of some group which he eventually in one night ended up killing all the head brass. Mm-hmm. So I'm assuming web slinger guy or web tattoo guy was a member in some form or fashion of that group.
Yeah. Their interactions between each other is still entertaining. There wasn't much in this episode, but it was enough that was entertaining. This episode it didn't have there wasn't a lot in this episode, but the what it had in the episode was good because it primarily, honestly, focused on the crash.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was the primary focus of the episode.
And that whole scene was done very well too.
Yeah, it was. Let's hop over to Tribe 9, episode 2. How are you feeling about this one still? I really enjoy this. I still am very much enjoying this. The number one thing that I still got to harp on is the fucking music is on point. The music in this show is so good. I'm blown away with how great it is. But, I mean, there wasn't a whole lot that really went down in this episode. It was kind of just like a setup episode. You did get to introduce to our antagonist.
Yes.
The big steel-faced mask guy that's in the promo art, whatever. He used to go around fucking up tribe after tribe. So that's cool. Other than that, it's just some more character development with the team, the Minato tribe. Doing a little practice game against Shun Kamiya. Yeah. Getting a practice where it's Kamiya versus literally everyone because he's such a badass after all. So I mean, that's all this episode really was. It's just a lot of character development for our main squad. Kamiya kind of showing off a little bit, and then getting introduced to our antagonist. I mean, how are you feeling about it?
I mean, I'm still liking it. As you said, there wasn't a whole lot of actual main content. It was very much just set up for what's going to, I assume, going to be a part of the series. I don't think it'll be the whole thing at this point.
Right.
And then our main group of characters for the Minato tribe.
Yeah, which another little tease episode had was teasing Kamiya's past as the destroyer, quote unquote. And what was it kind of like being? I can't remember, but was it kind of like being set up where like Kamiya may know who this dude is, this antagonist, like they have a past as destroyers together, or am I missing the mark on that?
I don't think, at least from every interaction that we saw, I don't necessarily think he knows this person, but it's possible he might have been part of that tribe at one point in time before the XP laws were put in place.
Yeah, because I mean, there were some obvious hints there with Kamiya in the episode about his past. Like I know one of the new people, is it Taiga?
Yeah.
Taiga and then Haru.
Yes.
Look at me remembering names. Holy fuck, this is the first one, only 2 episodes in too. But yeah, there was like one of them teased it where it's just like, as your past as a destroyer or whatever, and everyone kind of got quiet for a second, and Kamiya just looked kind of like, huh, and then he just went along with the same happy face, whatever. But there's a lot of teases there for something going on.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to exploring more on that. And there was also one, I don't know, it really felt like a weird transition of sequences to me because it's just like, okay, like what's the underlying scenes here where it's like after the little practice game, it's just like, yo, cook us up a bomb-ass meal. Kamiya was just like, I'm starving, let's eat. He cooks the bomb-ass meal. He's just like, I'm going to go lay down. I'm not really feeling it. He lays down for like a second. Haru brings him coffee. Then he gets up and it's like he's perfectly fine. That was a really weird scene to me. Like a really weird set of sequences. Like, okay, I guess it kind of goes back into like this past that we're going to get to explore, But I don't know. That's really me nitpicking. But I thought that set of sequence was kind of weird.
All I got from it was they were sort of trying to push it home that he's sort of eccentric. Because even when like it happened and Taiga was just like, you're not going to eat after he's already made it. And they're all just like, yeah, he sort of just does whatever.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'm still enjoying the show for sure. This is a good one. Again, this is only available on Funimation. But I mean, very, very good so far. I mean, the first episode really knocked it out of the park, dare I say. Second episode was, again, just character development, antagonist introduction. I'm really looking forward to seeing the next episode. Because one thing that was also important for this episode was further delivering, like, how exactly extreme baseball is played, because they further nailed where it's just like, all right, our home base is here in this part of the city. Our first base is here in this part of the city. Our second base is here in this. So I thought that was kind of fun.
And then actually stating the rules of that whoever loses has to do whatever the winner says.
Yep.
Which was really interesting because, I mean, that can really explain why the tribes and stuff, and I guess XP law sort of works, is because whoever loses has to apparently do whatever.
Yep. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the next episode because I feel like we're about to, finally, because I know we got it in the first episode, but it really wasn't much of anything. Cause it's like, the introduction to show how much of a badass our characters are, whatever, blah, blah. But I'm looking forward to the next couple episodes because I feel like we're going to get like our actual first full length XP game here pretty quickly. I mean, it's only a 12 episode series, obviously, so it'll come pretty quick. But I'm looking forward. That's what I really want to see. Is I want to see like a full length XP game in this. You know what I mean? I'm really looking forward to watching.
We should get one because we're going to get a fight of the 2 beam bats.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Want to hop over to Orient 3?
Yeah.
I didn't watch it. How's it doing for you?
I mean, it was all right. It was a finishing up of the fight with Akishin. Musashi went to go and try and finish it off because Kojiro finds out the weak point of the Kishin and yells it at Musashi, who first off, Musashi gets pulled up to the Takeda camp and then more or less going, "Hey kid, you're being reckless, stop," and him going, "I can't let this go. This is our prize," and all this stuff, and breaks free of the rope, jumps down, causes a rock slide to interrupt the people holding the Kishin in place, causing the Takeda to miss. And Kojiro tells him the weak spot, he goes to attack it, and his pickaxe breaks. His blade wasn't strong enough to break the thing. And right before Kishin counterattacks and kills him, I forget what the guy's doing, but the leader of the Takeda shows up, cuts the thing, kills it, and he's like, "I'm just going to have to claim this prize this time, kid." And more or less starting up a rivalry between Musashi and Kojiro versus the Takeda. The whole city celebrates that they've been freed from the Kishin and finding out the truth and whatnot. The Takeda more or less going, "Hey, we're going to do this," and everything's celebrating. More or less just character development of the Takeda people, Musashi and Kojiro. They find out that that on that scroll that Kojiro's father has, it has the names of all the Kishin on it.
Oh, that's handy.
Yeah. And then even as a supplementary prize, Takeda gives Musashi this necklace, which is a little ore prismatic thing he finds as a kaleidoscope, but it shows you the auras of Kishin that are near you. So it's more or less a telescope guide to find the Kishin. And more or less they figured that out. They figure out that they have a list of names, and notice that also on the scroll shows a bunch of different other weapons that the Bushi use, and just like, we've lost this one, but we're going to do this. And finding out, the whole talks a whole about the dreams and stuff and having a resolve, and that the dream of all Bushi is to kill all the Kishin, because if you kill all the Kishin, you'll unite the land and be the next king of the land, yada, yada, yada. Mm-hmm. Only to lead to Musashi declaring that he's going to complete this dream that no one else has been able to do in 150 years. And then him and Kojiro go off, leave the city to travel, and we get a shot of our third character, the female that's in the openings at the very end. She's just chilling by a river, splashing her legs.
Is this show like really like sticking with you at all?
I mean, it'll be probably a decent watch, but I mean, it's not really pulling me in like several of these other series we're currently watching are.
That's how I felt through the first two episodes personally. It's lower on my totem pole, which is hence why I didn't watch it. I watched, Love of Kill, and I was going to watch Leadale, but I got tied up with other stuff. But Orient's one that might not make our weekly list.
Yeah, maybe not.
I'm just going to be brutally honest. Mostly because I do feel like we probably need to trim down the show list just a smidge. And I feel like that's probably the one that's going to get trimmed.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I mean, I'll still finish it, but I just don't think we'll talk about it every week.
Yeah, I'll probably end up watching it too. I may not watch it every week, but
yeah, I won't watch it. I guarantee I won't watch it every week.
Because I mean, it's not bad. It's just not as gripping.
Yeah, and that's the problem. Speaking of gripping, how's Dragon Quest? I know how gripping that show is for you.
So by watching this episode, I remember what the previous episode was. It was all set up and them acquiring all their allies. Literally everyone they've interacted with before shows up to join their forces. This is the episode that introduces why Hyunkul is the ultimate edgelord of all edgelords.
Okay.
So it's finally the execution of Crocodile and Hyunkul. And it becomes a whole thing of their plan is to once, I forget exactly what they said, but once something was supposed to happen, they were supposed to jump out, free Hyunkul, free Crocodile. Everyone else was supposed to jump down and start a big old fight. Well, ends up being Hyunkul drinking a goblet from Mistavern of his dark aura, which turns Hyunkul into Dark Hyunkul, which makes him real muscly and turns his white hair black. So we then spend the rest of the episode of them going on about, he thought he could beat my dark aura with this light aura. Watch as it gets consumed by my dark aura. Crocodile going, no, Hyunkul, your last gambit has failed. Yada, yada, yada. being a giant build up to finally Hyunkul breaks free what they think is him dying, only for him to rise up and be like, I'm now more powerful. My light aura is even stronger now. Hyunkul got a power up. He slaps Mystavern away. The others show up, free Crocodile. Pop being himself and not feeling like he's good enough, because when they get Hyunkul, they're just like, you still have your jewel from Avon? He's like, yeah, put your will into it. He does it, it instantly shines, and Pop being sort of depressed, like, that was wrong of me. I was really hoping Hyunkul wouldn't be able to do it, and things like that. Pop being Pop things.
Pop is Pop.
Yeah. Being depressed and thinks he's weaker than everyone else. Hyunkul gets his weapon again. They start the big old fight. Everyone comes down to start fighting. Mystavern goes to try and kill them, but it gets stopped by Lobrook, I think his name. He's the guy that made Hyunkul and Dai's weapons. Starts fighting Mystavern and all that. More or less sets up that, yeah, the fight's now going now. Hyunkul got to be a big old edgelord of, I'm not giving into darkness, I'm going to be the light. And then the others trying to separate to cast this big spell that requires all five of them, the God Glimmer or whatever. Mm. It was literally just Hyunkul being an edgelord.
Okay. Sounds about right for Dragon Quest at this point. How'd you feel about Yashahime 39? I will say, I did jump into some of this episode. I watched probably about 10 minutes of the episode. Just like some different clips on like YouTube and stuff. Mm-hmm. So I got to see the main stuff I wanted, obviously, which was Moroha interacting with her parents, Kagome and Inuyasha. So I really enjoyed what I watched out of that. The stuff with Inuyasha and Moroha was funny. I enjoyed their interaction.
Of them just staring each other down and Kagome going, yep, they're related.
Yep, I enjoyed that quite a bit. That was fun.
I love the fact that Kagome just accepted that, hey, Toa's apparently been to the other world, so she's going to get what I want. So she's like, Toa, help me. And they just both say the same thing and push them into each other. Yep. I'm just like, all right, Kagome.
No, and it was a very very nice moment of with Inuyasha and Moroha, because it was just like that moment of where Moroha's just like, damn, this feels really warm. It's like, damn, it's like, this is what I've always kind of wanted. Kind of, it's kind of the vibe there, and she just starts like burst out crying, whatever. Very nice moment that we've been literally waiting on since Yashahime started.
I mean, yeah, and you have a nice moment after that, because once it does that, it switches back over to the other side where Kirin Maru is looking for the Black Pearl. Yep. He finds Takeichio, Ren, and Jongen, who are sort of chilling there. And more of this thing, you're not going to get the jewel, yada, yada, yada. And we get a badass shot from Shishomaru.
I don't think I saw that part.
Where, so Shishomaru's being consumed by this purple aura that's more or less taking his strength to be able to move it all. And we just get a nice shot of him covered in this purple aura, looking super menacing, just straight walking up to Kirin Maru like, we're not done yet.
I did see where Shishomaru kind of got his shit right and then got back into the fight later. Yeah. That's all I saw of him, so I didn't see that part. It sounds cool, though.
That, and they have a whole standoff. Then we have a nice moment again in the other world where Moroha is asleep on Inuyasha's lap, and then Kagome is looking over stuff with Toa from her cell phone and having a whole moment is, so this is what cell phones look like now. Toa just going, well, we call them smartphones now and everything. And just, when my first phone I had was this one that sort of just opened up. She's like, yeah, a flip phone. I was like, oh, wow. It's been 14 years. And Kagome just having this whole moment of, I am an old lady now. And she's like, the one good thing about this world is I don't age, so my skin is still flawless. It's sort of having that. And then Toa and Setsuna was like, okay.
Yeah, and Kagome's like, what, you don't agree?
Yeah, they have that whole interaction, and then they show the two of them the weird lake that have apparently connected to Jongen's staff, where he's apparently been stalking Moroha over the years, showing them glimpses of Moroha every so often.
Shout out to Jongen. At least he's doing something nice, I guess.
Just stalking little girls.
Yep. Shout out to him, I guess.
Making sure they're okay. I mean, how I phrase it's weird, but he wasn't doing anything. He was just making sure they're safe.
Yeah, he was just being good guy Greg.
Yeah, he was being the big uncle.
Yeah. Love that name.
He's Uncle Jongen.
Yep.
And all that. And through all this, Toa mentions how she used the Tetsaiga broken, well, not the Tetsaiga, the Tenseiga. Tenseiga.
Yep.
And then Inuyasha coming up with a thought, we can get out of here.
Shit.
We just need to get the broken Tetsaiga. And then Toa, you're going to use your power, and we're going to cut our way out of here. And then we had a moment. Shippo finally reappears in the series.
Shout out to Shippo.
So apparently Shippo's been in some fox village acting as a teacher this entire time.
Shout out to Shippo.
I don't remember if you can remember the character because I vaguely remember Miss Cube.
Nope.
Okay. She was in an arc at one point in Inuyasha because I vaguely remember her. More or less he's been doing a favor for her and she's been looking for information on where Kagome and Inuyasha's pearl has been. And then just so happens he mentions now after all these years searching for this stuff for Ship was like, by the way, Moroha became a bounty hunter. And he's just like, really? She became a bounty hunter? He's like, yeah.
Who would have guessed?
I was like, oh, I got to go see this for myself. And he's just like, I'm going to use some fox magic. But I can only go places where I know. And that's a place where I can go. He goes back to the well where all this crap with Karen Maru's going on.
Yep. Right at the center point.
It's natural Shippo-esque style. He just naturally appears where the shit's going bad. He shows up while Karen Maru and Shishoma are facing off each other. And he's just on his little top and go board spinning around going, ah!
Yeah.
Did you see this?
Yeah, I did. I saw that.
And just naturally, he just goes, strong fox magic. Jumps on, leave. And they whisk away. And Karen Maru's just like, shit. Did you also see the thing where Karen Maru's arm that got cut off by Inuyasha's and Shishomaru's father?
Mm-hmm.
So Riku is actually one of Karen Maru's horns, okay? Well, one of Karen Maru's arms got cut off at one time, and he had Riku throw it into the bone-eating well. Well, apparently, that sucker went to the other world and became a separate body. That's why we have the weird thing of the teacher looking at the sky at the comet, because he's aware of it, because he's connected to Karen Maru, and Karen Maru's aware of the future.
Huh.
Yes.
All right.
So Toa's teacher is a part of Karen Maru this entire time.
Jesus fucking Christ. Of course.
And we also find out that Karen Maru is not actually a bad guy. He's just poor at doing it because his whole objective here is to go to capture Aku, the windmill child who can apparently move time, to go to the future to destroy the comet to prove he's the strongest.
That's all he wants to do is destroy the comet and so he wants to save the world, but he wants to do it so he can prove that he's the strongest.
He doesn't want to save the world.
Well,
he wants
indirectly save the world.
He wants to show how he's the strongest by destroying that comet, and he ends up saving the world in the process.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Saving the world is a secondary thought, but he essentially indirectly wants to save the world just to prove he's the strongest.
Correct.
All right. Yeah. Hey, dude, you got to follow your dreams, bro. I mean, okay.
So, next episode, I assume, is going to be the escape plan from Inuyasha.
Well, at least we got what we finally been fucking waiting for. With the Moroha interaction with her parents. That's all we've ever fucking wanted with this show. So we finally fucking got it. So that was cool.
Still haven't got it with Toa and Setsuna.
We'll get there. We'll get there before this season's over.
No, we won't, because Shishoma will be dead.
We'll almost get there. We'll figure it out. How did Platinum in episode 15 go? This is essentially the second cour.
From what I got, is going to be the second half of the series. So
this is like the cutoff point that Death Note had after L died, essentially.
Yes.
It's the same concept. We are at the cutoff point. Metropolitan is dead. That episode was fucking intense, by the way. I very much enjoyed that watch. Very intense. God, the stuff with Metropolitan was extremely intense.
Yes, it was.
And I feel when it comes to Metropolitan, all my interest with the character really fucking got thrown out the window now that I saw his backstory. Like the full backstory.
Oh, yeah.
Where he just got super mad that she was interested in a boy and accidentally knocked her off a fucking tower. I'm just like...
Because he was a super controlling siscon?
Yeah, I was just like... Everything that I thought was super fascinating about you kind of got trashed. But still, I told
you something was wrong with the guy who friggin' carbonated his sister.
Well, I thought there was some good-natured part about it, where he's trying to bring his sister. Like, his sister just died. That's all we knew, and he was wanting to bring her back to life. Okay, I can understand not, wanting to have a dead loved one back. While it's kind of weird, yeah, sure. He Han Solo'd her, whatever. I can get that kind of aspect. But it's just like once I saw how it all played out, I'm just like, all right, so you're a freak. All right, cool.
I told you he was a freak for the first time when it showed that.
Anyway, so how is 15? This essentially kicks off the second part.
So the first thing I want to note is the opening actually had a change in animation.
Okay. Still same song, though?
Still same song,
Okay.
which Bandmaid's a very good group.
Another question. Does it still have the same ending? Because I love that ending. It cracks me up. Where Mirai jumps off the building and it's just like, it's like still shots of Nai saving him. Perfect. I love that shot. It makes me laugh every time.
Okay. No, it was just a sort of change to characters because like all the Metropolitan stuff is gone now. Stuff with Mr. Sure, and it's actually changed it to the newer characters, the other half of the God candidates who we haven't seen.
Okay. I saw pictures for him, but that's it.
Yeah. So more or less, Mirai has a conscience whole thing going on about Mr. Sure's death and everything, and how he should feel after all this, and how Mr. Sure's wife and daughter would feel about learning that he killed a person and that they helped him kill everything, and then Sagi more or less trying to bring him out of his spiraling depression, and then Nase going, he's progressing. He's finally accepting that someone needed to die.
I love her so much.
Smiling the whole time.
I love her so much.
So there's that. Then it introduces us to the kid who we saw sitting in the chair, broadcasting everything. So he's a God candidate, yes. Mm-hmm. He's actually the one who shot Metropolitan with a red arrow. And it actually shows us how he shot Metropolitan with a red arrow. So apparently his angel, who's the angel of games, actually partnered up with Balt, the god of intuition. And Balt actually told the kid who Metropolitan actually was. So the kid snuck into his school, and when Metropolitan was staring at the archer girls with his buddy, shoots him with a red arrow. Why? Because Metropolitan didn't know anyone had revealed his identity, so he didn't have his guard up. Got shot right in the heart.
That makes sense.
Even in his last moments before the red arrow took effect, he tried to shoot the kid with a white arrow. He pulled it out and was about to shoot it, and then it took effect.
So close.
So close.
So close.
Yeah, then the kid just walks away with Metropolitan from Metropolitan's friend and goes to his house and is just like, oh, this is super awesome. Can I have your house when you're dead? It's like, yeah, you can have it. And then his angel, she's sort of just grinning and bearing it, just being real angry because I guess at this point she realizes shit's not going to go well.
Yeah, she's like, well, this is fucked.
Yeah. And then you see how the kid tells Metropolitan how he wants Mirai's white arrow and more or less tells Metropolitan, next time y'all fight, you finish it. Don't run away. So that's the reason why Metropolitan never left, is because he was under orders of Red Arrow. In the moment of the sense, it made sense that they were going to have a final battle and that Metropolitan finally wanted to finish it all. But it was actually because of the kid.
Okay.
So the kid acquired all of Metropolitan's arrows and whatnot, now owns his house, which still doesn't explain where the heck Metropolitan's parents are.
Also a fair point.
Yes. Mirai and Saki have a nice moment in the church. Mirai's still sort of depressed in his moment. He sleeps next to Mr. Sure's armor. Saki's trying to be a good waifu, makes him curry, finds he's asleep.
Shout out to Curry.
Finds him asleep, throws a blanket on him, keeps the curry, warms it up for breakfast the next morning. Trying to just have a nice moment just between the two of them. Mm-hmm. The rest of the angels have a meeting.
Like the remaining ones that are left?
Yes.
Okay.
Because apparently it's tradition whenever this happens, because apparently it's happened more than once, whenever there's only 6 left, that the angels all get together and meet. And more or less they discuss how things are going to go forward, because their job is to find a new god candidate. And one of them even is like, do any of these god candidates even want to become god at this point? Hell, mine's just been chill ever since she got her powers, just been living up the life, luxury. We see her on some tropical island just getting a massage.
That's great.
And she's just looking at her phone, like, oh, Metropolitan's identity is revealed. Great. That Polo Man's dead. Now, as long as a god candidate wins who doesn't want to take my red arrow, wow. So I can just keep living a life of luxury till I die.
Smart.
Yeah. So we get to see actually all the other angels. It doesn't name drop all of them.
Like what their roles are or whatever.
Yeah.
I got you.
It shows us the kid's angel, whose name I forget, but he's the angel of games. The one who was talking about his god canon, who's living it up, he's the god of truth.
Okay.
Or angel of truth, not god of truth, and everything. And more or less, angel games like, well, mine's got this. He's still being proactive. Mm-hmm. And it leads to a whole thing of the kid gets a news crew out to his middle school because he's a sixth grader and reveals everything to the people. He reveals about the god candidates, how many there was, what's going on, what the arrows do, even shows a drawing of what his angel looks like and the whole purpose of it. And it's all a big ploy for him to go at the end. It's like, we should all choose the god together. So there's there's 6 god candidates, including myself. Let's find them so we can all choose a new god. And more or less sets up the world to hunt down the rest of the god candidates.
This cheeky little fucking kid. Fucking kids, man.
Yes.
That's actually a super fascinating concept for the second part of this show. So when the first part was like all based around secrecy of everything, mm-hmm. Now the second part's all out in the open. Almost like that's actually a really fascinating concept for the second part of this show. Yeah, I'm here for that.
So yeah, this kid just reveals everything.
Okay, I'm looking forward to checking that out. I've enjoyed Platinum Man. I have. It's just still the Mirai has been. I'm growing to him. Finally, I'm growing to him a little bit.
His most redeeming quality is Nase.
I know. I'm very well aware of that, but I'm growing to him a little bit after the Metropolitan fight. But that's still the weakest part of this show is our 2 main characters, Saki and Mirai. But I don't know
what you're talking about. Our 2 main characters were Mr. Sure and Metropolitan.
That's true. Shout out to I got this. It's what was his name?
Mr. Sure.
No, he died. We have to give him respect. Mercado, right?
Yeah, you're close.
I think that was his name. Was it?
I'm pretty sure you're fairly close.
Okay. Well, shout out to him. He had a hell of a run. All right, I'll finish up with Demon Slayer, season 2, episode 7. Sorry. Okay, so this Uzai comes in to save the day.
Hey!
Because the episode starts with more stuff with Nezuko fucking up the upper 6, which her name is Daki, I think was her name, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
Nezuko kind of fucking her up brutally. As well as, there was one moment where she got blasted through a building. There's some people there and they're kind of bleeding a little bit and it kind of causing Nezuko to embrace the demon, essentially. You see a moment where Tanjiro's still like passed out and, in his dream, he's got his brother. It's like, brother, you need to wake up or Nezuko's never going to be herself again. She's about to go full demon. So, he comes in and saves the day, puts, the sword sheath in her mouth, trying to hold her back so she doesn't fucking eat people, kill people, whatever. That's where Uzai comes in and saves the day. Shout out to that. Have a good time there. He comes in like a badass, like super quick, shinobi style, completely saves the day. But this is where it brings me my favorite fucking part. And I completely forgot about this. There's a lot of things I forgot about watching this episode from reading this arc. But what I love the most was just his interaction with the upper 6 for the first time.
It's great. I do remember this.
Oh my God. I loved it. I forgot about it completely because he comes in like super swift, cuts her head off in the process where she's sitting there holding her head, and he's assuming that she's just going to fucking evaporate and die. And he just starts like fucking roasting her.
Yes, he goes hard.
Yeah, where he's just like, you're not an upper 6. She's like, yes, I am. It's like, no, you're not. You're weak. There's no way you're an upper 6. There's no way you're an upper. There's no chance. And she's like, yes, I am. It's like, no. You're weak. There's no way. And she starts like full blown throwing a fit,
yes.
like a kid fit. Like she starts crying and like being like, I'm an upper 6. I'm an upper. I promise. I'm super strong. And he's just like, nope, no, you're not. You're weak. Nope. And she's like, yes, I am. And she's like, brother. And that's when I forgot about him too. Completely forgot about.
I didn't.
I completely forgot about her brother. He pops out of the shadow, whatever. He's super fucking like skinny, where you can see his bones, really disgusting looking. Which obviously, Uzai's just, kind of stance up a little bit. He's like, all right, this dude means business. There's something up here. And she's like crying to him. She's like, I was trying my best and they just beat me up and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ, I forgot about all of this. This is amazing.
I didn't, because this was one of the last arcs I read of Demon Slayer before I just stone cold dropped it and forgot about this series existed. Yeah, I don't know why, because this is a very good arc overall. But I remember this happening on me, like, all right, we're finishing it up and everything. And then the brother comes out of her shadow, and I went, fuck.
Yeah.
And I was like, and then just the rest of everything that happens for this arc, I was just like, God damn.
Yes. Uzai realizes very quickly that, okay, this dude means serious business. Because, like, when she is about to, like, call him, there was, like, that moment of where he realized something's up because he sensed it. And, dude, oh, my God, it was animated so fucking awesome of, like, just, like, really showcasing you how fast he is. Because, like, it was such a quick moment of sequences where it's, like, as soon as he realized it, it's, like, already across the room, you still see the wind coming behind him as he's coming up with both swords trying to finishing it, obviously failing because he, the brother stops it. But the interaction between them was entertaining as well because, he's just like, oh, you're a real pretty boy. I bet the girls love you. It's like, girls don't like me. I can't, the girls never messed with me. And Uza's like, yeah, I got 3 wives. And then he's just like, you have 3 wives? This is unacceptable. Man, it was entertaining. All of that interaction was super great. The fighting is about to go down. Uzai, he was, the brother throws out like the blood scythe, whatever it is. He throws down a couple like little shinobi like bombs, whatever. Blows down the floor because he knew he couldn't dodge them, block them, and protect the people behind him. Tells them to leave. Has a nice moment where you still see once again why he's known as the sound pillar, whatever. Where he's like the sound. Whatever he's got, the breathing, the powers activate. He's like, all right, the whole building. I like how he said, all right, the whole building is mostly clear. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess fuck the people that might still be here then, I guess. But whatever. Because he did say, oh, okay, yeah, the upper floor is mostly clear. I'm like, oh, well, fuck everyone who's still up there potentially.
I mean, the Demon Slayers are very adamant that there's going to be sacrifices, unfortunately.
Yeah. So, we're setting up for this big climax now, which is great. That's dope. Once, Tanjiro finally got Nezuko to calm down, Inosuke and Zenitsu, who's still passed out, by the way, naturally, they finally show up. And I liked the moment between Inosuke and Tanjiro, where Inosuke's like, Inosuke is here. It's like, I'm here to save the day, essentially. And Nezuko, Tanjiro's just like, all right, you go back up, Uzai. I have to go put, Nezuko back in her box. And Nezuko's like, permission granted. And then Tanjiro's like, thank you. And starts kind of running off. I enjoy those interactions, man. Those are great. No, it was a dope-ass episode. I'm so pumped for this fight.
At this point in the series, has Inosuke's mask come off?
Yeah, he's taken his mask off multiple times.
Okay, I couldn't remember. Because I just remember in the manga when it actually revealed his face. Was sort of
that was still season 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember when it happened.
Yeah, because remember with this arc, I mean, his mask was off pretty much the whole time because he was posing as a girl because he's so beautiful.
See, I forgot about that, so I just assumed he had the boar mask on.
No, did not have the boar mask on. No, the mice brought it to him whenever he jumped through the ceiling.
Cool.
Yeah, no, this episode was great, dude. I really enjoyed it. Favorite episode of the week?
Mine is probably going to be Land of Leadale.
Either Bisco or Demon Slayer. Probably Demon Slayer. I fucking lost my shit when she was throwing a temper tantrum. I lost my shit. I forgot all about that.
I mean, that's how I felt with Land of Leadale when my showed up with the freaking brother squad. I was just like, what?
All right, let's hop over to manga chapters for the week. Weekly Shonen Jump is back from its break. Kicking things off with One Piece 1037. I'd probably give this one an 8. Kaido is just having a fucking great time. He's like, they're in the middle of this fight, and the dude just busted out a giant keg and just starts drinking. He's fucking drunk as shit. And Luffy's just like, what the fuck are you doing? Are you drinking right now? He's just like, yeah, I'm having a great time.
This is fantastic.
Yeah, he's loving it, bro. He's having an amazing time. And he even asked Luffy, he's just like, yo, you want some? They got some down there. We're supposed to be throwing a party before you guys came and interrupted.
Kaido is the true bro.
Dude, no, he really is, because he's like in this fight, he's just like, gaining so much respect for Luffy. So he's just like, yo, you want a drink? Like, I give this one, no, I'll bump it up to a 9. It was funny. My Hero Academia 340.
7.
I give it a 7. Black Clover 319. Jack, no.
Had you read that at that point?
No, when you sent me that, I haven't read the chapter yet, but like you sent me that, it's like, no, Jack, you can't say that. My eyes just immediately went down there where Jack's thinking, oh no, I can't cut this guy. I'm like, oh, well, all hope's lost then.
Yeah, no, that's like the 3rd page of the chapter, and I just read, I can't cut him. I was like, no.
If Jack can't cut him, it's game over. That's it. Everyone's going to die on Black Clover. You heard it here first. Jack can't cut him.
But no, overall, I mean, Black Clover's sort of coming back.
Yeah, it's kind of getting there. It's such immense in-game vibes, though.
I mean, it is.
I am convinced the series is about to end.
Did he ever come out and say that this was the final?
No.
Really?
There's no confirmation if the series is ending or not, but I swear to God, this feels like in-game vibes.
It is. It just,
like, where do you go from here? Like, you've introduced, like, literally the top of the top bad, it feels like.
Literally the only place they could go from there is if they
Devils from space.
No. They go into hell itself.
Okay, that's also fair.
But I give the chapter a 7.
I give it a 7 as well. Dr. Stone 225.
Round and round we go.
Yep.
Round and round we go. Okay. 7.
I give it a 7 as well. JJK 171.
I'll give Megumi an 8.
I'll give Megumi an 8 as well. Mission Yozakura Family 113. I'll probably give this one an 8. This was a very funny chapter because, like, you know, Naono, like, he's like the science guy of the family, whatever. And anytime anyone's like sick or whatever, he kind of naturally takes care of them. Well, he has like this certain medication, right? That works, like, can pretty much, you know, it works well with Yozakura blood, where it pretty much heal whatever anyone's got going on, whatever sort of sickness. But the problem is, the needle is very fucking painful. So everyone is horrified of it. Where it's just like almost like a horror movie in a way, where it's like someone kind of like had that moment of like sickness. And you just see you see he's in his big form, because, you know, he's got 2 forms, the little kid form and the big form, because he's been experimenting on himself. You just see him like from his back walking down the hallway with a needle. He's just like, I'm coming for my siblings. like he like you know, Shinzo and God, I can't believe I'm drawing a blank on her name. But Shinzo and another one of the siblings, they're up against Shion, that's it. Shinzo and Shion, they're up against a wall. It's just like, yeah, the needles just really hurt. You don't understand how painful these needles are. And then now it just breaks through the wall and just sticks both of them, and they're just like, oh, and then just pass out. Even the, you know, the eldest brother, you know, the biggest badass of the group, Korichiro, even he's terrified of it. Where it's like when Nano finally gets to him, you know, he's just sitting back in his chair, like all, you know, like badass, like, but the entire room is just covered with his threads. Where he's just like, yeah, I'm not letting you near me with that thing. I give it an 8. It was a good chapter. Undead Unluck 94, bro. I know you don't read it, but I sent you like the main thing from the chapter, bro. Fuko, no. What are you doing to me? What is this author doing to us? I'll give it a 9. I'm very scared to see what comes after this. I'm scared and curious. Like, I mean, obviously it's not the end. So it's just like, what the fuck are you going to do to kind of bounce back from this? Mashle 92.
I remember this.
Yeah.
I give it a freaking 8.
I give it an 8 as well. Sakamoto Days 54. This old man, bro.
This old guy.
Man.
He better be still around.
Bro.
If they do this with the old man, they did us wrong.
I know, dude.
Talking about horror movies.
I know. I give it probably an 8.
I would give it an 8 as well.
Elusive Samurai 46. I like the ending. The ending made me laugh.
Ending was nice.
Yeah.
I give it a 7, though.
7. Blue Box 36.
I'll give it a 9.
I give it a 9, too. Ayashimon Chapter 8. Bro, I love our pro tag. What's his name? Moron works. Moron does work. I think that was probably intentional, now that I think about it. Dude, I love our pro tag. I really do.
I mean, I give it chapter 9. It has a whole setup of our female boss having some apparently power, and then him just sort of rolling up just like, kid, I'm done with you. What are you doing? I'm having the time of my life.
Yes. Also, dude, shout out to that, whatever, the leader of the group, whatever. Shout out to his power. That is like
that is actually very cool.
Dude, that is so cool and so unique. So the dude's got like fire, right? So naturally when the fire comes up, you know, Moron, we'll go ahead and call him that. But
until we remember his name.
I mean, it's like, it's It's Morino, I think, or something like that.
It is,
yeah, so Moron works perfectly. So when he sees the fire, he naturally thinks he's going to get burned. Dude sends the fire on the floor, hits his feet. Moron just falls to the ground. He's like, yo, my feet are like completely cold and numb. No, what the fire does is that it takes away heat. Like, that's so cool, bro. That is such a unique take on fire.
I've seen that, I think, in one, maybe two other series, but it's so rare when I see it.
Yeah, it's so cool.
I enjoyed how they set it up for this series, because I didn't even really dawn on me that he has fought several fire-oriented Ayashimon at this point. So naturally, he was just ready. All right, fire. I've dealt with this. I can do it again.
Yeah, I'm about to get burned. Whatever.
And then it happened. I was like, that was awesome.
Yeah, that was so cool. Doron, chapter 6.
Are you still reading this at all?
Yes, but I haven't read it yet. I haven't read chapter 6. It's still on my slate to read. I have not dropped it like P6 or anything, or Protect Me, whatever. I don't even remember the name of the series. That's so long dropped.
Oh, Protect Me, Sakamoto.
That was chapter 1 drop. I was done. Not for me. I mean,
well, it wasn't for us.
Yeah,
we explained it a couple episodes back.
Yeah.
6.
Okay. Well, it's that time again, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for some Dragon Ball Super and for some Boruto that came out today.
I do want to note on Boruto its visual key changed on Crunchyroll.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, it actually has a nice picture because it's now got in big letters the Boruto Next Generation, and it actually has a shot of all the kids walking forward.
Oh.
And if I remember correctly, there's actually an old key visual from Naruto of all of the younger generation, that one doing the same shot.
Oh, that's actually pretty nice. I'll have to check out that key visual. Dragon Ball Super Chapter 80 just continued the gas between Granola and Gas. Yes, Gas. Yes, Gas. That's his name. That's our antagonist name right now.
I hate these character names every time you say them.
Granola and Gas and the cereal ends.
All I see is a friggin' bar and a cloud going up against each other.
I mean, basically, Gas kind of knocking his shit around, whatever. Gas apparently has like some berserk mode, like a Broly mode, basically, where he just completely loses control.
He becomes pollution?
Basically.
Okay.
So he had that moment where he basically became pollution, and then he kind of brought it back in where it's like he harnessed that power. So he's like in the rage transformation and power, but it's controlled now. And
so he's Bane.
Basically.
He's Bane from Batman.
Basically. So, I mean, it was an okay chapter. I mean, I'd give it probably a 7. As for Boruto 66, very interesting how the chapter ended. Because I mean, these are monthly. See, I don't know how much I want to say. You know what I mean? Well, I don't know. I mean, if you made it this far in the fucking podcast, then I'm gonna go ahead and assume that you don't give a shit about the manga stuff. So I'll go ahead and kind of say it. The end of this chapter had Kawaki like completely like just like brutally like stabbing the shit out of Boruto, like with his like transmutation fucking weird spike arms and basically killing Boruto.
Okay.
This is Boruto's wish though. Like it wasn't like they're really against each other. It was his wish because, again, Boruto has Momoshiki growing within him with the karma mark.
Oh, I remember you mentioned that like a month or two ago.
Yeah, exactly a month or two ago. That's the problem with these chapters is there's so much time between them. But Momoshiki was in control of Boruto's body in this chapter, and Boruto kind of woke back up. And it's fun to watch their dynamic because, like, Momoshiki's, like, on one side, basically. Momoshiki's like, God, will you just fucking go back to sleep and stay asleep? And Boruto on the other side's like, will you just piss off and get out of my body? So it's like a nice dynamic between the two. But in this episode, Boruto basically told Kawaki, like, yo, do it, fucking, kill me, essentially. Meanwhile, obviously, Naruto's against this, and in this moment, you see Boruto, like, Gale Palm Force, whatever, his dad away, basically Rasengan his dad away. It's like, Kawaki, do it, fucking kill me. So I'm very curious how it's going to kind of go from here. But there was one particular shot in this chapter that I really fucking loved because it was such like a mirror shot of Naruto and Sasuke from the original series. Because, Boruto and Kawaki, they're like, brothers, but they're not brothers, essentially. That's the relationship they've built. So it was a really nice shot of Kawaki fighting Momoshiki, where Momoshiki was using the Rasengan. And Kawaki's not using anything, but he's got like the fucking spiked mutated arm. But like the way they were going at each other mirrored like Naruto and Sasuke, and that was really cool. I'd give the chapter an 8. I mean, it was a solid chapter. It's just the problem with these chapters, with them being months apart. It's like, this one only being like a 40-page chapter. It's like we don't have enough content necessarily. Yeah. I wish it was at least bi-weekly, like Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest, which I still need to catch up on. But I mean, it wasn't bad. No My Hero Vigilante, no Spy Family, no Kaiju. Kaiju will be back in a couple weeks, actually.
Yeah.
Dandadan 41, I'd probably give this one an 8 after last week's insane chapter. I'd probably give this one an 8. Good chapter there. Fire Force 298, I'd give this one a 7 personally. Tokyo Revengers 238. You know what? I'm going to... For now, my opinion on this chapter actually could change depending on how the next couple chapters go. I'm actually give this one a 9 because I actually really liked how the character they went to go see.
I liked it too.
Didn't necessarily join the team. Like they left him alone. Now, granted, after they go support him, because obviously the ended tease that they're going to whatever he's been preparing for. Yeah. Obviously, I'm kind of concerned that he's going to immediately flip the script and join them. But in this single moment, I liked how Takamichi's just like, he's not coming with us. And I like that. I like that a lot. So I give it a 9.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with it. It was very well done with everything that's been going on. I'm curious how they're going to play the next couple chapters because I'm sort of on the opposite, and I hope they don't go where you're thinking what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, I'm going to give it the chapter 9. It was very interesting seeing where they've gone with this.
Eden 0175.
I still don't know how I feel about Connor.
See, I don't know either, because like, what version of Connor is this? Is this like the bad guy Connor, or is this actually a good Connor? You know,
for what we can't go too deep into this.
No, we really can't.
But I mean, he's a badass.
He is a badass. He gets the job done as a pilot.
I mean, I give it an 8. I
give it 8 as well. To Your Eternity, I'm pretty sure Zach and I are just out on.
Yeah, we'll get back to it at some point, but at this moment, I mean, everything that was going on just sort of killed me.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that's how that series is. It has very good moments, then it has just long, drawn-out stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still excited for Season 2 this fall.
Yeah.
Yeah, they released a new key visual for that, by the way.
Did they?
Yeah. I'm still excited for the new season, but yeah, I'm kind of out on it right now. Next up, Seven Deadly Sins, Four Nights of the Apocalypse, Chapter 47. I would give this one an 8. Overall, pretty solid. I enjoyed this one. Ranger Reject 37. I would probably give this one an 8 as well. I enjoyed this chapter. It was a lot of Blue Keeper, the Blue Ranger, essentially.
Did they turn him?
Basically, I mean,
okay.
he's fucking up like this one of the foot soldiers, whatever, that's also in disguise, but not our foot soldier D. Again, that's his name. He doesn't have an actual. He's a foot soldier. That's all he is. Foot soldier D. It's our protagonist. But then it had a moment where like our protagonist is now stepping out of the disguise that he's been in the entire time, because currently he's in one disguise of one of like the ranger candidates, whatever. And while the Blue Keeper is about to fuck up this other foot soldier, our protagonist, foot soldier D, like kind of slashes through the truck. He's just like, "Oh, I'm sorry. All I heard was screaming. I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know you were in there, Blue Keeper." Obviously he did, because it was brutal. Blue Keeper was like brutally torturing this other foot soldier.
Gotcha.
Like brutally torturing, like continuously stabbing her at multiple points in her body with like these pipes, like through her arms, her legs, her back, and everything. It was brutal, and then Blue Keeper's like, "Yeah, get the fuck away from me. Don't get in my fucking way again." Talking about the ranger candidate, whatever, our protagonist. And then he steps up right beside him, and Blue Keeper's just like, "What the fuck are you doing? I told you, don't get in my way." And he's just like, "Oh, I'm just helping my ally." And then Strep just brutally attacks Blue Keeper, trying to take now his like sacred weapon. Because keep in mind where we are now when it comes to all the keepers. Our protagonist already managed to steal Red Keeper's sacred weapon, whatever. So Red Keeper actually can't transform. Like the one time you saw Red Keeper after that, he was in just some fucking bullshit like mock-up suit. He's like, "Yeah, this isn't my normal suit. I can't transform. He stole my weapon." And everyone's just like, "How the fuck did you let that happen?" So now he's trying to get Blue Keeper's weapon. But I mean, I'd give it an 8. It was a good chapter. Unordinary 244.
Feels bad.
Yeah, it does. There's progress, though.
There is.
That's
I'll
the
give it
main
an 8,
thing.
though.
I give it an 8 as well. Weak Hero 173. Next.
I give it a 9.
I gave it a 9 as well, dude. Jake's a badass.
That was all great setup with Jake.
Yeah.
And then just each shot of the other fights and then going, "What the fuck?"
Exactly. LC'd 152.
I'll give it a 9.
Favorite chapter of the week?
I'm probably going to give mine to Blue Box.
Ah, man, that's tough. I really don't know what I want to give mine to. Maybe Undead Unluck. Blue Box is up there as well. I'd say one of those two. I don't know what I had the most fun reading this week. I had a lot of fun reads, but I would probably say Blue Box or Undead, Unluck, one of those two. All right. Well, that's it. We're done. Bye, everyone. No, I'm just kidding. No, that is it. Yeah, just cut, drop the curtain. Just like how we're going to pull the curtain back on our fancy announcement here soon. But no, hopefully you made it to the end. Hopefully you had a good time. Zach, any other thoughts on any other shows or mangas we chatted about here today? Or am I good to hit the music? We hit the music? Hit the music.
Yeah, hit the music.
Let's do it.
All right, if you have gotten to the end, thank you. Like, comment, subscribe, rate, whatever your platform allows. It does help. If you like what's going on and you're watching this on YouTube, you can hit the subscribe button to help us out and be part of that 51% that's watching and not the 51 people who are not subscribed to us. And you can do, and if you want to know when everything's ever notified, you can hit the bell and it'll let you know whether it's this show, Terrible Football, or Game Static, any of our shows goes up. You can do that at youtube.com/SparkyU3.
Yeah, do everything that he said and more. Again, if you are not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. We definitely appreciate that. Be a friend, tell a friend about the channel. Just share it with anyone, man. Hopefully you check out the other shows like Game Static, talk about movies and stuff, or Terrible Football Show. And once again, we're up to something. It's really cool. And you're going to be really excited about it, I hope. I'm really excited about it. I can't stop thinking about it. I keep fucking bugging Zach about it almost every goddamn day. I'm pumped. It's going to be super cool, and it'll probably be revealed on February 1st, so stay tuned. Until next time, guys, have a good one.
Bye.